Thank you, Mike. It's really a deep honor to be asked to give this opening talk. I'm delighted to see everyone here. This is a really very exciting time in hepatitis C. We have 3 new sets of tools that are available now to us to reduce the morbidity and mortality caused by hepatitis C. A new rapid antibody test approved by FDA in 2011 is simple enough to be used in community locations such as health fairs and shopping malls. Hepatitis C screening of the entire U.S. population born between 1945 and 1965 has now been recommended by CDC in 2012 and by the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force in 2013. And now we're seeing the emergence of new all-oral antiviral regimens that promise to be safe, quick, easy, non-toxic, and highly effective. This is really a watershed moment. I think this is the first time in the history of medicine that we're seeing a chronic, lifelong, life-threatening viral disease go from being incurable to curable. So these developments have raised the hope that this disease, the most common blood-borne disease in the developed world, could be eradicated. Eradication, defined as the reduction of disease incidence to 0, is the ultimate public health goal for any disease. It can provide substantial economic benefits, and eradication initiatives can build health infrastructure and strengthen public health capacity for dealing with other diseases as well. And it can advance the humanitarian objectives of social justice and health equity. To be successful, eradication first must be biologically feasible. The pathogen must have no non-human reservoir in the environment, and hepatitis C does not. Ideally, natural infection should confer protective immunity, but this is not the case for hepatitis C. There should be a simple and highly accurate diagnostic tool, which we have for hepatitis C, but because the disease is asymptomatic, this requires population-wide screening, which is not a simple matter. We must have effective prevention, ideally is safe, inexpensive, easy, and durable. And we have effective prevention measures for hepatitis C, but they're not as effective as we would like. And political opposition and social stigma have kept them from being universally deployed. And we're on the verge now of having effective treatment which is safe, easy, durable, and inexpensive to produce, although financing has become a major barrier. And there should be a sensitive surveillance system to know where we're succeeding and where we're failing, which we don't really have for hepatitis C. But we have enough of these criteria that eradication could be biologically feasible. So whether we accomplish it or not will depend on whether we can create the necessary public health infrastructure, and perhaps more importantly, whether we can muster and sustain sufficient political and societal support to provide the necessary resources to accomplish the task. So what needs to be done? Historically, disease control has rested on these 7 pillars. We need to know where the disease is and where it's spreading. We need to invest in robust prevention efforts. We need to screen the population and treat those infected. We need surveillance to tell us where we're succeeding and where additional efforts are required. And we need policy and research to support all of these efforts. I would also add that we need advocacy to make all this possible, particularly in a political climate that's sometimes hostile to investment in public needs. And finally, we need to recognize that people living with and at risk for hepatitis C are themselves powerful agents of change in this epidemic. They're our partners in the struggle, and if empowered with the information and the tools they need, will care for themselves and their communities and make all of these things possible. I won't go through each of these items in detail, but what I'd like to do in the next few minutes is touch on some of the highlights. To start with, we need to know where the disease is and where it's spreading. Because although treatment certainly offers powerful new tools, we won't be able to treat our way out of this epidemic.